What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, GGFOREX here, and I'm going to be doing a sort of an old school video. I haven't done one of these in a while. I'm going to do a trade breakdown on my AUD CHF trade, which I did, which obviously if you guys are following me on Instagram or in the GGFOREX group, both those links are down below by the way, you would have seen that setup. But I want to break it down and make it what I was seeing, what I was thinking, what I wanted to see happen, and how it all played out. So I want to do that breakdown for you, and also, if you guys have seen my story, a week or so ago, I did a similar trade on NZD Chef. It missed my entry by 0.5 pips, right? My fault, I'll show you how to avoid that mistake in a sec, right? 0.5 pips, and it ran for a beautiful 1 to 3, but I'm looking for a re-entry on it now, which looks good. So let's just jump into the charts and I'll show you these breakdowns. Okay guys, so let me just delete this. This is my next trade I'm doing, so we got a screenshot of that. Then you've got a nice little trade to go to for next week if it works out. If it doesn't, don't hate me in the comments. So what was I looking at for this trade? Let's just go on the replay tool and let me show you what I was seeing. Okay, so what I was seeing on the charts was these equals being created at the same time. So we've got equal lows. So for me, that is already a sign saying, hey, this price may want to go down. Also, if I look further down on the charts, we've got more equals down below. So what am I seeing? I'm seeing price is reacting in a daily point of interest. Let's go to the daily. Scroll across. And you can see it's reacting in this daily point of interest. So I'm expecting some sort of reaction here. There was imbalance, this move pushed down, and it never came back. And that was back in May the 10th, 21, right? So a long time ago, over a year ago since that's been mitigated, right? Price has come back in. And you see price came in, it reacted off heavily, came back in again, went higher, and now we're getting divergence on a daily time frame, right? On a daily time frame, we're getting divergence. Not only are we in a higher time frame point of interest, getting higher time frame rejections, also having higher time frame divergence. We've also got equal highs that were liquidated with this move, which obviously I got my red X's, so we came equal highs, people saw this as resistance, they look into sales, bang, they got taken out, price pushed down, made equal lows, aka support in some people's eyes who trade support and resistance, right? And price controllably flagged its way back up to my point of interest. So already everything that I needed was in play. I'm going with a higher time frame bias. I'm entering on an area, I'm entering on an area where they have liquidated out retail traders. It's created more targets. I'm also on a higher time frame, so what I would want to do is take my trade planner out and literally go short. Now, here's a tip for you, and I'll explain, it'll make more sense on the next trade. Right, I'm entering off the body, like bang on the body. Sometimes this works, right? Sometimes this works, as in you'll get in the trade. Well, what you need to bear in mind is, not all mitigations have to hit the body, they can come close, because you don't know where the banks put in. The banks put the orders in, but you don't know exactly where they got into the market, right? And my target for this is going to be the equal lows. So we're looking for like a 1 to 3.6 or whatever. So most of the time you want to have a little bit of pad. And when I say a little bit of pad, it can be like maybe 2-3 pips pad, depending on what your spread is, depending on what your broker is. You can just eyeball it if you want. If you want to be super precise, you can just see what your spread is at that time. But bear in mind, spreads do change throughout the day. Not too much. Obviously, maybe like 0.5 to 0.1 of or 0.5 to 1 pip, maybe changing throughout the day. But then obviously when you got the Asian crossover from when New York ends to Asian open, spreads do go mental for about an hour, where it can spread to about 10 pips or so depending on your broker. So that's just something to be aware of, because that'll make more sense on the next trade. So let's just play this out and see what happens. See, price came in,
And if you really weren't sure, right, if you really weren't sure about this trade and you wanted to double check, right, look at everything we've got here going on. We've got basically 3 pushes, breakdown, took out this low technically because price did close below it, made more targets, right? So if I wanted to double check in this area, I know it's going to work in a high time frame, I've done it, so let's just have a look on the lower time frame. What is happening in this area on the lower time frame that we could potentially get extra confirmations on? For you guys who want to be extra safe, or if you're in a challenge or whatever it is, you just want to get an extra confirmation to say, hey, this area is actually going to play out. Bear in mind, when you sort of do this extra confirmation or this double mitigation or whatever you want to call it, the likelihood of you missing more trades is higher, but the trades you're going to get in are going to be a lot more successful, if that makes sense. So yes, you will miss more trades, but the trades you get in will make you win more, lose less, and potentially give you a better reward to risk. So it depends how you play it, depends how you can play it. If you've got a job, you can't really break down to the lower time frames in key areas. You kind of just have to roll with the higher time frames. So for you guys who have a job, I'll just say stick to the higher time frames. But if you can go to lower time frames, try it, see how you get on, test it out, 25 trade blocks, and then change it in your trading plan. So let's just break it down. Right, we're in our point of interest. I'm basically waiting for something to get broken, probably during London Open. I'm expecting that break. So we're still pushing higher. Right, there we go. So it came up, our 3 pushes, came down. Right, so how it was on a high time frame, 3 pushes, boom, break the structure, made semi-equal lows here. So let's just draw this out for you. This is right at London Open as well, so it's an extra confirmation that the fact that's happening there. So we've got targets being made. We also have more targets that were made down here on the lower time frame. Right, we also have divergence. We have a nice last up candle before the down move. This last up candle liquidated this previous high, pushed lower. So if you really wanted to, if you want to get spicy with it, you can enter on the body. You can also have the stop loss at the top. If you want it to be extra safe, you don't have to have the stop loss above this previous high. You can if you want to be more aggressive, but at the end of the day, you're still getting a tighter entry than you were, but also you're still having a really safe, realistic stop loss, because you know anything can happen in trading, blah de blah. So if you wanted to get a 1 to 3, it's basically already here. You know, it's only got to do 39 pips, but for this video, I'm gonna just go to the same TP as our higher time frame 1 to 3, which would be quite interesting to see what that would be, because I'm not entirely sure. Probably something ridiculous, and I wish I did it. Right, so it's a 1 to 16-ish. Right, let's just see how this plays out. There could be potential re-entries on this on the way down. And then boom, taking out target. So you could have got a 1 to 3.2, or you could have got a 1 to 16, okay? Or 1 to 16.3. Depends how you play it. Again, there is no sort of guarantee that, yes, you will get these beautiful double mitigation plays in your points of interest, because I will show you the trade I missed on NZD Chef. Now, same similar setup, right? This candle came up. Let me just zoom in so you can see it better. Right, it came right into this body of the point of interest. So I was carrying that, what happened in the past will probably happen again sort of scenario. But again, we can't be sure. We have to have a plan that we stick to. So I went in right on the body on this trade, right? This was exactly my entry. My stop loss was above here, right? And I was targeting equal lows that were down here. That's just been taken out, right? So it was roughly a 1 to 3 again that I was going for. But if you have a look of why I say you should pad and do as I say, not as I do, because if I did pad in this entry, I would have got into it. So let me just slide this across. Now, you may think, oh, you just got in. I didn't, because of the spread. The spread was 1 pip, right? So it hit my entry, but it didn't go past by 1 pip. So I missed this basically by 1 pip or half a pip. It was super, super close. And obviously, if you guys see my Instagram story, you would have seen me post this and saying, if this doesn't come back up and hit, it is extremely harsh, right? So it did actually miss the body by this, but obviously the banks were happy with where they got in. That's where they got out of their orders. There's a nice distribution here. So if I was feeling ballsy and if I did want to have the extra risk to my trading plan, again, this is all about risk, because price could have easily came down, spiked back up, taken out people who are selling here and actually got back into a better selling point. That could have happened. That was in the back of my mind. But if I was to go on the replay tool again and break this down, okay, and then go to the lower time frames again. Let's just do the 30-minute, it'll be faster. Right, so the grey box is my point of interest, and I'm waiting for the same situation to happen. I'm waiting for it to get to my point of interest. I have every confirmation I want. This is just an extra confirmation on the lower time frame in an area where I was willing to sell from in the first place, right? Let's just play it out, see what happens. Right, so we came in, as you can see, it touched and had a huge sell-off. So what did it do? It flagged up, boom, had a huge sell-off. Nice divergence as well. So, in reality, that candle doesn't look great. Let's just go up a little bit higher, see what happens. That looks kind of better. Let's just roll with it, see what it would be, because it'd be kind of ridiculous, right? So, entry here, stop loss here. And again, if I wanted to be extra safe with this trade, I could have left my stop loss above. Yes, it's slightly less reward to risk, but it's kind of, one, it's extra safe. Two, I'm probably more guaranteed to get into the trade. If I really was desperate to get into the trade, I'm perfectly happy, price just not getting me in, I'll just wait another day for another entry, and this is what we've got coming up anyway. So obviously this is a ridiculous stop loss, which is 7.6 pips, which I know people say, oh, I've got a 10 pip stop loss, blah blah blah, I scalp, but it all depends on your spreads and what sessions and what pairs you're trading, okay? So let's just go with what I was targeting anyway, which was down here. So again, it would have been like a 1 to 16, 1 to 17 trade, and let's just see what happens. Trigger me in. I could have got in on multiple entries here, because obviously, let me just pause it. So obviously this candle came up, broke this structure, tested it, pushed down. So there was another second entry again, but again, remember, I was still thinking price could, during London session, push up, take out the Asian liquidity, and trigger me in. It didn't, it ran away, but I'm looking for a second entry anyway. And as you can see, that would have ran for 1 to 17. So I hope you learned a lot from my two breakdowns. One, add pad. Two, you can get better entries in your points of interest, but remember, price doesn't always have to hit exactly where you want because of spread and etc. And yes, I hope you learned from this.
Okay guys, so I hope you learned from those breakdowns. One, definitely add pad to your entries. Two, yes, you can go to the lower time frames in your points of interest. However, I only recommend it if you don't have a job. If you have a job, stay on the 4-hour time frames or the dailies and just let price get to your area, and if it hits, great. If it doesn't matter, wait for another opportunity. You can lose more by going down to lower time frames because it is more volatile, but if you know what you're doing, it can be obviously very beneficial to your trades. Obviously turning a 1 to 3 into a 1 to 16 or a 1 to 17, which is amazing, but again, it requires higher risk. Or as I said, you can go for the lower time frame entry but still have the higher time frame stop loss. Yes, you get slightly less reward to risk, but one, you're definitely guaranteeing to get into the trade. Two, and your stop loss is in a better, logical, higher time frame, safer point of interest as well. So it depends how you want to play it. I really hope you enjoyed this breakdown, give you an insight into what I was seeing to get into that Aussie chef and what I was seeing to wanting to get into Entity Chef and being very close to getting into it and missing out on that trade, which was frustrating, But as you guys know, and as the GGFOREX family knows, that happens to be quite a lot. So obviously, it is what it is. My accuracy is too good sometimes. I just need to add a little bit of fat. I know I have said this in the past, but obviously that fat sort of has slipped a little bit during my time. So I need to make sure I do add a little bit more on next time. But yes, guys, I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. I'll see you on the next one. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you in the group. Links down below.